This is the brand new iPhone 16e and quite arguably one of the most boring iPhone launches in a very long time. And it's not a bad thing for a lot of people. It's not really a lot here to get excited about. And I was gonna review the iPhone separately from the Nothing 3A Pro, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to showcase what you can get in the Android market for around the same price or even a lot less, because you just get a lot more these days. And right off the bat, you can tell, like, the design philosophies are completely different, right? Like the iPhone, it's just standard candy bar phone. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy, they all look very vanilla. And there's a reason why companies do this, because they want to appeal to a larger audience, right? It's harder to get offended by this style of design. The Nothing 3A Pro is completely different. Like, it's very, very nerdy. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of like tech looking features about this phone that just make it stand out. It's great for someone like me. Like, I think this is one of the best looking smartphones on the market. But if you're someone like my parents, they're probably gonna look at the Nothing 3A and be like, what is this? This looks weird, right? So they may not like the look of this compared to the iPhone. But I don't want them to change this design because I feel like it makes them stand out. And that's probably the main reason why they're keeping this style of design, to make them look different from everybody else. Now, there's a big difference in terms of overall form factor. Like, this iPhone is tiny, it only weighs 162 grams, it's super light. This Nothing 3A Pro, because it has a bigger screen, it obviously weighs over 200 grams. And look, a lot of people are complaining about the camera layout, saying it looks ugly. Quite frankly, I think it looks cool. It's like organized chaos. And then you have all the glyph rings around it to give it some aesthetic flavor. The back is made out of glass. The ring camera is obviously made out of glass. The only thing I will say though is that holding the Nothing 3A Pro is a little weird, you know, because the camera bump sticks out so much that you lose a lot of the real estate on the back where your hand is going to grip. The other advantage to the iPhone is that you do get IP68 water resistant. You drop this thing in the water, it's more likely to survive compared to the IP64 splash resistance on the Nothing 3A Pro. But there is a new button on the Nothing 3A Pro, this one right over here, and this is their Essential Spaces button. And what that does is basically when you press it, okay, you take a screenshot of whatever's on your screen and you can add a note, or if you long press it, you can voice dictate what you want to say, and then it will save it in an essential space. Now, quite frankly, this feature, not really appealing to me, but I can see how some people might like this. I'm glad they didn't do what everybody else is doing and turning this into a glorified camera button, but I would have loved the option to be able to remap it to, let's say, a different application, because I'm not someone for this essential space feature. Now, both phones have USB Type-C, obviously, and they both have dual speakers, but I'm gonna play a little sound test between the speakers on both of these phones, and you guys let me know which one sounds better. Now, since the design of the iPhone 16e is based off the iPhone 14, it does have an action button, which is something that the iPhone 14 didn't have, but they did omit the camera control button. Look, they took away MagSafe. I think this is ridiculous. You know, like, I'm someone who has wireless MagSafe chargers literally everywhere in my studio and in my house, and this does not have one. Even Apple's official case doesn't have MagSafe inside the case, which I think is absolutely crazy, you know? So if you want to use MagSafe with this phone, you're gonna have to go out, buy a third-party case that supports it. The Nothing 3A Pro doesn't have an ecosystem of MagSafe, but I do suggest putting a case on this phone anyways, just so that the case adds a bit of thickness to make the camera flush with it. It'll just make holding the phone a tiny bit easier. Now, in terms of biometrics, you have Face ID with the iPhone 16e. Personally, I prefer Face ID. It's a lot easier. You just look at it and you log in. The 3A Pro uses an optical sensor. It's a little low. I would have loved the optical sensor to be a tiny bit higher so that my finger naturally rests on it. But again, not a big deal, just a very different way of getting into your device. It's obviously one of the areas that they had to cut costs in order to keep the prices lower. Now, these displays are very interesting because you do get a more pixel-dense display on the iPhone 16e. The display on the Nothing 3A Pro is Full HD. It is OLED though, and you do get a higher peak brightness, over 3000 with the Nothing 3A Pro compared to about 1200 on the iPhone. And look, most conditions, they look very similar. It's only when you go outdoors, if you want to really crank up and turn off auto brightness on the 3A Pro, you can push the SDR brightness quite high, making it a brighter display than what you get on this iPhone. Also, the 3A Pro is a 10-bit display, so if you're watching a lot of HDR content, it's gonna look so good on this device. The thing that the iPhone really sucks at is still having a low refresh screen. 60 Hertz, we're still here in 2025. I don't care if your phone is $300 or $400, it's pretty standard these days. I can't do a 60 Hertz display on a phone anymore. I'm sure if I forced myself to use it for like 4 or 5 days, I'd get used to it again. But once you use a high refresh rate display, it's impossible. Well, it's hard to go back because it just makes the phone feel faster than it is. And that's the crazy thing, you know? Like the processor inside this 3A Pro is a Snapdragon 7S. Like this is a very mid-range processor. The speeds of this thing are technically slower than the Pixel 9, whereas this iPhone has this super fast A18 chip minus 1 GPU core that will blow this thing away in terms of performance. But when I hold this 3A Pro and I scroll through stuff, it just makes the phone feel faster. Now the selfie cameras, we're talking about a 50 megapixel camera on the Nothing 3A Pro compared to 12 megapixels on the iPhone. But I did get better photos on the iPhone. I find that skin tones with the Nothing 3A Pro are a little off. It tends to make me look a bit too yellow, like I'm developing jaundice and I'm about to die. And this could easily be fixed with a software update. Like this is not something specific to the hardware. All right, so this is what the front-facing camera looks like on the Nothing 3A Pro versus the iPhone 16e. I'm gonna try to face it towards the sun, see how it reacts. Not really much sun today actually. But yeah, this is what it looks like on a snowy, cloudy, somewhat sunny day. You guys let me know which one looks better. And yeah, which one has the better microphones. But if you're gonna keep your phone for 6 years, for example, then I would probably gravitate towards the iPhone 16e. Like Apple tends to support their phones for a very long time, like 6 or 7 years, and you get like the full updates. Now, Nothing is doing a pretty good job. Like you are getting 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security, but it's still not as good as some of the bigger players on the market. But I gotta give Nothing credit. I really enjoy their software experience. It's just so different. Nothing OS looks so cool. Like look at this. This is one of their simple themes, and you have all this different customization built into the phone that you can play around with. And it's just like, it's one of the first phones that I've used where I didn't feel like I needed to go out on the internet to download a custom wallpaper, because the wallpapers that are on here are quite nice, you know, like they're ready to go. Like they look good. They blend well with the icon packs that are obviously available. And even if you go into the settings, there's a lot of specific customizations that you can do. Everything from the widgets to the way the phone looks and feels and responds. Plus, you have a special features section, which gives you experimental features that you can play with. So if you have a pair of AirPods, for example, you can enable this feature and it will show the battery left in your AirPods, which is something you really couldn't do with other Android devices. Now, the glyph system. Now, this is cool because it looks cool, but again, this is something I don't really personally care about just because I'm not always looking at the back of my phone. But these little glyphs over here that are surrounding the camera bump, you can customize. You can customize them to ring when the phone rings. You can customize them to notify you when something specific happens. I personally use them as a second flashlight. So I'll turn on the camera flashlight and then I'll enable the glyph flashlight if I need a little bit of extra light. As for battery life, it's an interesting topic because with the Nothing 3A Pro, you have 50-watt fast charging, but you don't have a wireless charging whatsoever. I think that's a huge omission. Like wireless charging should be standard at this price point. The iPhone doesn't have as fast charging, but the battery life on it is incredible. They bumped up the battery size. You pair that with that new C1 modem, which is just much more efficient than the previous Qualcomm modem they were using. And the battery life on this rivals phones like the iPhone 15 Plus. Like, it's that good. Now, the camera systems are very different on these phones. The iPhone 16e, you just get one 48 megapixel camera, and the Nothing 3.8 Pro, you get 3 lenses. Two 50 megapixel cameras, one is wide, one is a 3x optical, and then you have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, which means you can actually take macro shots, which is something you can't do on the iPhone 16e. I think it was a big miss not including an ultra wide camera. It's great for macro photography, and I feel like there's a lot of situations where I just need to load up the ultra wide to get a lot more in the shot, especially if I'm really close to something. But the camera results are different. Like, when you look at pictures of the Nothing 3.8 Pro, they are a bit flatter. They're not as contrasty. They tend to not be as aggressive on the shadows as the iPhone. And because of that, the benefit is that you see a lot more in those shadows, but the picture doesn't look as appealing as what the iPhone offers. But when it came to the zoom lenses, the Nothing 3.8 Pro is obviously better. It has that 3x optical lens, which looks super clean. You can zoom all the way up to 60 times digitally, allowing you to get closer to the subject, whereas the iPhone doesn't have any zoom capabilities. Like, there's a 2x mode, but the camera's just cropping in. And if you want to digitally zoom, it can only do it up to 10 times. As for nighttime photography, they both take great shots. I found the iPhone to be a bit more consistent, giving me more of what to expect, whereas the Nothing phone kind of bounced around a little bit with the exposures, but it still took very good photos. As for 4K video, the iPhone definitely takes the win. I mean, it just takes better video. What can I say? It looks cleaner, it looks sharper. There's less noise in the shadows compared to the Nothing 3.8 Pro. And I found the object image stabilization to be a slightly more aggressive with the Nothing 3.8 Pro. There's a little bit more jitter when I'm running faster. So here's the thing. I actually spoke to a bunch of people who ordered the iPhone 16e, and their main reasons for buying it was just the most affordable iPhone you could buy. And the big difference this time was that it didn't look like the iPhone SE. The iPhone SE didn't look like it belonged with the more expensive devices. Like, if I was to give this 16e to my dad, he would be like, oh wow, cool, the new iPhone, it looks like yours, right? Whereas if I gave him the SE, it would be too tiny, it would look a lot cheaper, it just didn't belong in the entire lineup. So that's the main reason why people are buying this device. And if you're part of that Apple ecosystem and don't want to buy something refurbished, then yeah, get the iPhone 16e. Personally, I think you should spend a little bit more and get the iPhone 15 instead. Apple Intelligence is not that good yet, and I don't think you're going to be missing much. But for everybody else, including myself, go for the 3.8 Pro. Like, it has that high refresh display. It has a bigger display. It has a really cool design. The software experience is super unique. The only thing I think that Nothing needs to do is issue a couple of more software updates to fix the skin tones. And I would have loved to see more than 4 years of updates in total. I think that's a bit too low compared to the competition. Either way, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll also include links for both devices. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.